Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Free Think Dojo. Something occurred to me the other day that I've always kind of been aware of, but never really spoke my mind about. And it actually popped up during one of my sales meetings with my team the other day at work. And typically, my boss likes to give little motivational speeches to kind of get us ramped up for selling or whatever, which, it is what it is. I know a lot of people are looking at that going, that must be terrible, which, no comment. But the other day, the topic of passion came up in conversation, and my boss always tries to push us to have passion for selling, for our job, for, whatever our product is that we're selling to other people. And for me, to be honest with you, I've never had that passion. I've had drive to do a good job each day. I set goals and plans to make sure I achieve a certain quota or a certain amount of numbers each day. And it makes me feel good knowing that I've worked a, good day. I've worked hard in that given day and I feel good about the results that I've given. But when you throw passion into the mix, you kind of lose me. I don't think I've ever had passion to work. I've never had passion to work for money for somebody else, to sell a product that honestly I don't give two shits about. I've never really understood the idea of forced passion, especially. Passion to me has never been one of those things that you can kind of fake it till you make it. Put on a mask and just get through it. That's really honestly just enthusiasm. You can fake that pretty easily. If you're enthusiastic about something, you can actually convince other people to either take part in it or understand your enthusiasm with it. But when you throw passion into the mix, I feel like you're just really, lying to yourself at the end of the day. Now, I'm sure there's people out there that are passionate about different things. Maybe they are passionate about work. Maybe they are passionate about a hobby. But I think what it really comes down to is understanding what passion even means for a person. But before I give my opinion, kind of what does it mean to you? What does passion look like in an everyday scenario? Is it something that you can choose when you're passionate about something? Is it something that you feel undying no matter what's happening? I think it really just comes down to the individual to decide not only what their passion is, but also to try and understand individually, how does passion fit in within my life? Unfortunately, I see a lot of people these days that kind of link success with passion. Like if you're going to be successful in life, you have to be passionate about something. But I don't really feel like that's absolutely true. A lot of people that are successful, I don't feel like are passionate about something. And if they are passionate about it, a lot of them weren't aiming for success in the first place. A lot of people have this romanticized idea of it. The key to success is passion. But in reality, true sustained passion is pretty rare. A lot of people think enthusiasm is the only way to kind of get that going. If you're really excited about something, then yeah, if you just keep being excited about it, it'll get you there. No, that's not it. It's more than just fleeting enthusiasm. It demands things like endurance, finding a purpose within it. And honestly, it just takes, putting time into it with that long-term commitment aspect. I can tell you firsthand that passion is not something that I feel like is always easy to achieve or easy to live with. I've been practicing martial arts for a very long time, and it is something that I define myself as more than work, more than my hobbies. It's something that I do live by as a lifestyle. And it's something that I just started one day and kept going with. I never had this idea of, I'm going to become a movie star, or I'm going to become a boxer or a UFC fighter. If that did happen, great. But my passion was developed when I had nothing. I never had family members that already had prior experience or connections for martial arts. I had no friends that were really into it as much as I wanted to be. A lot of my experience just came from self-exploration, from self-research. I'd spent time out of my day when I could have been doing homework or on YouTube or playing video games, researching and training to achieve whatever I was hoping to achieve. But even till this day, 15, 16 years later, I still have trial and error moments. Passion at the end of the day is just about kind of being developed, not discovered. I never was waiting for somebody to reach out to me and discover my talent and want to push me forward, right? I was always out in my backyard, trial and error every single day, trying to find what would work best for me. I was trying things. I was learning from the things that I was failing at, I was succeeding at, and I was basically just building on what worked for me. Now, I'm not anybody special, guys. I'm not trying to sit here and say that I did something that nobody else could. I feel like I was almost, I don't know, oblivious to life. I feel like at that time I was just, living in an imaginary world, it felt like. But it was because I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to find, I guess, like my purpose. And sometimes what you'll find is that passion is often tied to purpose. When passion is directed towards, let's say, like a meaningful goal that you want in life, whether it's personal growth, whether it's you're trying to become successful or a movie star, or maybe you just want to be really good at it, it becomes more of like a resilient activity, right? You want to keep doing it no matter what happens. But I think the biggest lesson that it taught me was that even when things are hard, it can, teach me to be engaged during those times, even when I'm not succeeding, when I'm failing over and over and over again. It's that internal drive, that internal fire that can never be put out. But that was not developed overnight, right? That was something that I built on for years and still am to this day. It comes and goes, to be honest with you. There's some times where that personal growth goal kind of gets a little stale. So I have to switch it around to more of, I'm getting older. I want to master something to, create a foundation for later in life or something like that. So it really pains me to see a lot of people that, don't want passion in life. They just want to be comfortable. They don't really care to try new things. And if they do like something, they try to keep it, so small in their life. They treat it as just a hobby, something I do in my free time. But if it's something that you love no matter what, right, then really invest in it. I think that's where a lot of people are lacking in, if you find somebody that says, I don't know what my purpose is, or I'm struggling to love life, I think it's because passion is missing within their lives. For me, it was martial arts, but for someone else, it could be something totally different. It could be work, right? If you want to be the best salesman in the world and you have the most passion for that, even on your downtime, you're still thinking about being a better salesman, or you're trying to, just be better in that realm in general, then that's a passion. I think what it really comes down to is passion is rare. So finding a way to stay in love with what you do, no matter what happens, I think is a trait that honestly could change a lot of people's lives if they invested in it. When you love something, I think investment is so important to put in. Purpose helps you stay engaged even when the challenge is there. But I feel like when a lot of people are putting years and years of practice into something, right? A lot of people will become naturally passionate about something. When you throw that exploration into life and really try to immerse yourself into your, passion or hobby or lifestyle, it will turn that initial spark that you had about it, maybe you just liked it as a hobby, into actual lasting love, no matter what hits you in life. Something like that could keep a lot of people going, even on their worst days. And I feel like that's so important because it's not just a feeling, right? We have a lot of feelings in our life, and I think that's where it makes passion even more rare, is because it's never a feeling that you have come and go. It's a sustained, purpose-driven commitment that will honestly just grow as long as you want to focus on it. So no, I do not have a passion for my work. I do my work to provide a living and push through my life, but I do like that people put the idea of passion out there in conversation. I think a lot of people need to, take a step back and go back to their roots of being an individual and finding what gives them drive. If you have a bad day at work and it takes away the drive of your day, that's not a passion. But if you love, making videos on YouTube, and even on your worst days, you would not give up YouTube for anything, then I think you found your answer on what your passion is. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you've had purpose come up in your life a few times and it's ever stumped you, or maybe it's given you anxiety, or just any feelings you have towards it, I'd definitely love to hear what you think. Once again, I think passion is possible with everybody, but I think what it takes is to, look within yourself, explore yourself, and just find what makes you happy no matter what. Once again, though, I appreciate every single one of you sticking around in the dojo with me today. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more content like this and share it with your friends to grow the dojo, and I'll talk to you guys next time.